And we do have, I believe, Tina Traster on the line. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning, everybody, after a rather noisy evening last night.
Fireworks and such.
Oh, I didn't know what you meant. Yeah,
Yeah, the bombs bursting in
there
it.
actually wasn't all that much going on in Stony Point. I didn't hear much of anything last night.
Oh, well, then you were the lucky ones.
Yep.
Yes, because it went on well into the night. I guess people just cannot resist the celebration of America.
Nyack and Pearl River did have big extravaganzas last night. They did.
I did.
And the Boulders, too.
Yeah, so it was, like I said, a little bit of a noisy night. And happy to hear the bird song this morning.
So before you get started with the meat of the matter here, I just wanted to mention that your segment every Monday from the Rockland Business Journal is sponsored by the law offices of Leonard Burbrower.
I'm Leonard Burbrower, a practicing personal injury attorney in Rockland County and the Hudson Valley. If you've had an accident, a fall down, or a work-related accident, I'm the person to see. 914-672-3775. I'm conveniently located in New City and available 24/7. The lawyer you choose can make a difference. Let me have the privilege of being that lawyer. Find me on Instagram and Facebook. 914-672-3775. I look forward to hearing from you.
And with that, what's on the Rockland County Business Journal or within the pit?
Yeah, it was a busy week last week. As Jeff knows, Bridges opened its Independence Cafe at the Palisades Mall, which will be all about products that are both made and for people with disabilities. And that was a big event, big turnout, and very exciting. Also last week, the town of Orangetown surprised many when it chose the preferred developer for the HNA Palisades Center site down on 9W, the former IBM Center. Two of the three finalists were sort of known entities to at least people locally who were watching this. And in a surprise move, the town board picked what they were calling Plan Number 1, which is a sort of an integration of upgrading the hotel and integrating things like farming and co-working and creative workspaces and some townhouses. So that sort of took everybody by surprise. Nobody was expecting that, but that happened, and we have reported that the HNA Center's been for sale for a good couple of years, and at one point they had a bid. They had an accepted offer for over $40 million, and it looks like this team, who nobody really knows very much about, but we are going to change that with a story tomorrow, is probably going to be bidding in that region. Up north of $40 million is what our sources are telling us. So it's really now it will be in the hands of HNA, the Chinese-owned company, to decide if it accepts that offer, and whether we see some progress at the now essentially defunct 106-acre property down in Palisades, because that really is one of, excuse me, Rockland's most precious sites and precious assets. So very much watching that story, and more on that from Rockland County Business Journal this week.
Are they not operating at all?
They are not operating.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the pandemic, probably was the coup de grace, but they were on their way out anyway. So this is going to be a very interesting thing, and like I said, tune in likely tomorrow when we are going to have a much fuller explanation of who these people are and how they come to the site, and where the excuse me, where the money is, because that's the main question that everybody's asking right now is, where's the money? And we are putting a story together today that is going to explain some of that. And finally, I was going to mention that we all want economic we all want rateables, and we want to thrive here in the county. But at the same time, we also always want to protect our environment and our way of life. So I think that there's an application before Clarkstown that is going to become a topic of interest. A company called Lincoln Equities, a New Jersey company, bought the executive park off Route 303 in Valley Cottage for $54 million. And as part of that purchase, it acquired 20 acres of vacant land that runs mostly parallel to 303, right across from the Valley Cottage Animal Hospital. And recently it came to Clarkstown with a proposal to develop a 220,000 square foot warehouse complex for what it's calling the last mile fulfillment center. That's a phrase we're hearing a lot more since the pandemic. It's not clear who's going to be their tenant, or even if they have a tenant. They've built these kind of fulfillment centers all around the tri-state area, and mostly they lease them out to places like Amazon and UPS. And this complex, it's a big proposal because it will include 54 truck berths and an additional 53 truck parking spaces and parking for 250 employees. And this kind of a project means jobs and taxes. However, there is the issue of truck traffic on Route 303, because their entrance on Executive Park on 303 is the only way in and the only way out. And the key thing here that's going to turn this into something potentially controversial is this company is seeking to change the zoning code in Clarkstown across the board throughout the entire town to build warehouses that are 50 feet tall, which is basically the equivalent to a 5-story building, possibly the tallest buildings in Valley Cottage. They want that because of a new kind of warehousing that requires this sort of vertical construction in order to, I guess, maximize the warehousing. But they are coming to the town of Clarkstown seeking a variance to change the zoning code, which would affect the entire town. So that, I think, is something that will draw the attention of people who are concerned about development, and also in terms of the environmental issues in terms of noise and traffic and idling trucks. There are other towns that have put some limitations on when these trucks can be on the roads and idling and so on and so forth. So this is one of these situations where, of course, we want economic development, and at the same time, we as a community, as a county, we need to look into the details before things are rubber stamped. So this is not. I am sure this is not the last time we're going to discuss Lincoln Equities attempting to build this large warehouse right off 303 in Valley Cottage.
The first story, before I let you go, you talked about the new cafe. What do they call it? Cafe for?
It's called Independence Cafe.
Independence Cafe, and Pete Clementi had a couple of people who have little upstart enterprise entrepreneurs who have little booths here and their stuff for sale, and it's just amazing. One of the things that really caught my attention was that the guy who sells bags. I mean, there's an infinite use for bags now that they won't allow paper or plastic bags in the supermarkets.
That's right.
And these have all sorts of different logos on them, all sorts of different features. And it was such a very encouraging and heartening interview to hear when these folks came on, and they're excited. And I hope the community will respond to this. This is just a wonderful, wonderful idea.
Yeah, I think I get the feeling that the community will respond to it.
And it's right next to the Autobahn, right?
Yep.
Or the racetrack.
Correct.
Yeah, next to the racetrack, and it's on the second floor, right above Best Buy. Mm-hmm. And it's a cool assortment of products, and it's a great thing to support. Lots of good gifts, and And also it's a good way to attract more of the same.
Yeah.
We're looking for more vendors.
Yeah, because if it is successful, and it better be, there will be imitators who will want to do the same thing, maybe in a different spin. But I hope this is the start of. Steve Allen once said this could be the start of something big.
That's right. I think it'll be a good I think it'll be a good thing. I think there'll be a good reception to this, and I think that it will grow. And like you said, this is the sort of thing that could blossom on any main street, or inside of other retail. It can become a kiosk, we're in the era of something called the pop-up, and we're in an era where retail is so much more flexible. And so, yes, this is the sort of thing that could be integrated in all sorts of ways. So, yes, maybe the start of something great.
All right, Tina Traster, Rockland County Business Journal. That's RCBIZ Journal, strictly online publication. And we'll talk to you next week.
Have a great week.
Oh, you too. And by the way, with stories and features updated regularly online, so there's no lag time between printing and getting it out. They're right there. RCBiz, BIZ Journal.com.